What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CM Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today I have a very exciting unboxing for you all. I hope each and one of you are all excited for today's video, as today we have a really cool box, and this comes from Tarmac Designs. So if you don't know, Tarmac Designs predominantly is a 3D printing company here in the model aircraft landscape, but they make some really cool products that are actually really impressive. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of those, and very excited. I've always seen Tarmac Designs at the various one-day collectible shows and so forth, and really applaud their effort and their work. So yeah, very excited to support them here with this purchase, and we're gonna see if we can get this box going here. So let me see if I can get it started. I think we might be successful right there, very good. And let's see if we can pop the top here without breaking the box, but it appears that we're going to break it anyway. I guess we can get it here. There we go, that's what we wanted. So yeah, very interesting packing job there, but it works out well for what we're doing here. And let's just go ahead and get started, everybody. So very small items today, as you can tell, it can fit within that scope of that surface area. And the box just goes flying, but hey, it happens to the best of us. So yeah, let me just go ahead and throw this off to the side, and then I'm gonna show you what we have in here, everybody. And we have some very small aircraft. Whoa, man, that happens quick. And we also have some Jetbridges as well. So yeah, really cool containers, by the way. These are really cool. So yeah, very, very small. Let's just go ahead and I'll lower it down a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. But anyway, in here we have 3 Piper Cherokees. Very excited to have these, and they're very nice and detailed. So very excited to have those. So we have a blue, an orange, and a red. So I think those will fit in very well here to the collection. We have a FedEx Caravan. Very excited to finally have one of these. You all know that I've been talking about wanting to get one of these for a while now. And I think I'm gonna have to get a second. This looks really good. So definitely tempted to get another, but looking very nice here with the first one. I'll actually be seeing them at the Chicago show here on this upcoming Saturday as I'm filming this, so that should probably work out. And where we'll start today's video with these glass Jetbridges. So I was really impressed when I saw these on the Kansas City diorama they had at the AI 2024 show, and I really wanted them. And this was actually before I got the DFW Concourse C, which you'll see in an upcoming video as well if that hasn't came out yet. So all that combined, and it has this really cool tab piece on there as well. I really wanted to get them, but yeah, I think it's like 5 for $28 or some pretty good deal like that. So I couldn't pass it up when I saw the opportunity, and that's exactly what we have here. So let me go ahead and take this plastic piece off, which it's certainly a very snug one, probably 3D printed as well, I would assume. And yeah, in here we're gonna have our glass Jetbridges. So again, very excited to continue to enhance the Jetbridge game. And as you can see here, these are very detailed ones. So yeah, really cool glass design. They are hollow, which is really cool. You can also see the various wiring piece there, the HVAC and so forth, and the ladder. Here's the canopy, and that moves like so. And of course, we have our end pieces. So let me go ahead and get these out. So yeah, just sits there just like that. And that's what the glass Jetbridge looks like. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it a little bit more in detail here before we take a look at our aircraft. So here it is. Very excited to have it, and certainly going to be really cool to see how that will function here on the model airports. So here it is, just getting some different looks out of it, and I'll go ahead and give you all a detailed analysis here. Starting here at the front, you got the canopy, of course, and it looks pretty cool, and you can see it does turn. It just, obviously, since they're 3D printed, it takes a little bit to get adjusted. So that's what that looks like right there, and I like the gray and white contrast there, so that's certainly looking very nice. You can see the ladder piece. It is obviously pretty easy to navigate and move around, so you can see that. And you got the ladder on it and so forth. And it's gonna look different when we elevate here in a moment. You also have the door where that goes right there. And then of course you have the raise and lower function. So of course, if you press it down, which it's pretty easy to get where you want it, it levels out pretty nicely, which is a huge advantage. That's one of the biggest errors I run into with the Gemini bridges is getting it to level off, but these are certainly nice. You can see here, I can even probably make it wide body height pretty easily. So yeah, it's just like it kind of falls into place. It just fits pretty snug. So it obviously is going to want to sit lower by default, but you can get it there at medium height pretty easily. So that's really nice. And of course you have some various wiring pieces on there, which you absolutely love to see that, and it looks really cool. So very happy about that. And then you got the actual glass itself. Again, it's hollow. So if you see, if I move the Jetbridge back here, that it adjusts automatically, which is pretty cool. And you can see through the inside pretty well. And we do have some pretty good range on this particular bridge. You can see that goes very far. So that's certainly a huge advantage of the bridge. And yeah, overall, the inside design does look quite nice. You can see the hollow and how that came out there. So that's looking pretty cool. There's the 3D printing look. You got the HVAC down there on the bottom as well. So great detail there, and the ladder piece there on top. And then of course you have the end Jetbridge here. You got that line that runs across it here on the right side. So of course, happy to see that. But here's the actual piece itself down here in the end. It's a very big, nice knob piece here at the end. And you can see that these do stand alone by themselves pretty easily, but they will fall if you force them to, but they're much better than Gemini's in the way of weight and so forth. But yeah, the end piece looks very nice right there, and overall, that came together very nicely. So I'll give you some examples on a couple of aircraft here real quick. We'll start with an American Bombardier CRJ, and you can see that it looks pretty good there on the canopy, and it's nice and lower to the actual aircraft. And let me show you what it looks like from this side. And you can certainly see how that fits on there and, you know, navigates the aircraft. So no doubt very nice there. I also have a main line over here that we can utilize, an Aeromexico 737. So you can see, obviously, you're gonna wanna raise it some here, which eventually it'll even out, and then it levels off pretty good. So I like how it looks. The canopy is really nice on this and definitely fits the build very nicely. So overall, these glass jet bridges are really cool, and definitely glad to get to feature them here today. So would highly recommend, great value, and if you're in the market for glass jet bridges but don't want to bust your entire budget on JC wings, that is a very good compromise. I would highly recommend those. So very happy to have those, and those will definitely be big players in the fleet for many years to come. So a really cool plastic piece here to hold our, oh shoot. I want to be careful with our Piper Cherokees. Now these are obviously very basic down to the details. These were $10 for 3, so very good value, and obviously you can tell that they're certainly very basic, so I'll just do a pretty high level overview of these. So as you can tell, they're very tiny, but very good job there on the hand painted elements, so huge shout out there for making that so realistic. So you got the propellers up here, and here's a better look at those, and they look really nice, so certainly very impressed. You also have the line down the windows, which is really cool, so definitely a great piece of attention to detail there. And then you got the landing gear down here, you can see a little bit, but very good there to, you know, obviously give them some flavor there with the red and so forth on the actual caps themselves. So you can see that pretty good, and overall that looks very nice, so very happy with how that turned out. And of course you got the wings, obviously minimal detail, but it's very, you can see how big my thumb is compared to it, so it's very tough to get adequate detail in this environment, but they definitely did a good job to represent it the best they could. The landing gear also really nice, and yeah, the tail also looks really cool as well. You got the red on top of this one, and then the other two are blank. But I'm certainly very impressed with these, considering obviously how small they are. They came out very well, and they're certainly going to be huge assets and much better than I could ever do. But the landing gear especially, that's a huge plus on these, and overall they look very nice from quite a few different vantage points and standpoints. So overall, very glad to feature these. I think they look really nice. I'm certainly eager and excited to continue to utilize them here in my fleet, and I certainly think that they will, you know, be a huge asset for all the various airports and so forth. So they certainly look very nice, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. So great job here by Tarmac Designs on the design of these, especially considering their size. I'm very happy with how these turned out, and hope to get some Cessnas and some other ones here in the future as well. I think there was one other aircraft type, so definitely will be curious to get those here in the future. But overall, very excited to have these, and I certainly think they look very nice. So these are really good, and definitely recommend these if you're in the market for aircraft like that. So very happy with those and how those turned out. So very nice right there. And then lastly, we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful FedEx Caravan. This is what induced my purchase. I've been wanting those glass jet bridges for a while, but between the Pipers and this coming out, I couldn't help it. Now they're working on, I think, the electric Cessna, which is really cool. And now we have this one. So obviously much larger in size, so you obviously have a little bit more real estate to work with, and this is definitely a very good looking aircraft. So here it is, the FedEx Cessna 208 Caravan. Very good detail all throughout, just getting some different angles of it. So let's go ahead and get started here at the front. You got the propeller, the 3-blade there. I like where they positioned it, so that looks very nice. Very happy with how that turned out. So overall really good. It's also not tail heavy at all, which is really impressive. Then of course you have the windows. Those are nicely printed on there, and you got the line down the middle of the fuselage, so that's very impressive as well. Also very unique to the Caravan, you got those 2 tip pieces right there, so that looks very nice, and overall very pleased to see that. That's certainly very impressive detail, so of course you love to see that. And then you have just the 1 prong piece there on that wing, which is really cool that they were able to master that and get it down to detail, so of course you love to see that. Here's the back piece of the wing there. You can see how those look and how that came together, and then that FedEx logo very nicely. You can tell it's pasted on there in some way. I'm thinking it's like water done. I'm forgetting like how that exactly works, but I think you can like take water and do like some sort of, what's the correct term for that? Like a decal apply print on there. If you do it with water and like a particular sort of like glue, or I'm forgetting exactly what it is, but it comes out pretty good, and this definitely turned out very nice. So very happy with that, and it certainly looks really good. So if you wouldn't have told anybody, you probably wouldn't have noticed, but you can, you know, if you really get up there and look at it, you can see where it was applied. But very good job on the decal. It certainly came out very sharp, and it looks really good. You got the tail stuffing piece, so it's not tail heavy, which I'm personally good with this. I really like that. You know, it's not going to be bouncing down on me. You just really can't control it when you have such an angle there. So good job for them just going ahead and applying that. So mad respect to that. And then you get the purple tail, of course, Very good shade of purple, it looks just like it. Nice job on the hand paint, and it certainly looks very sharp. So very happy with how that came out. And taking a look at the right side of the aircraft, very similar details throughout. And again, the FedEx printing on there also looks very nice once again. So overall, very happy with how those came out, and overall, it's looking very strong. So highly recommend the FedEx Caravan if you're in the market for some sort of FedEx aircraft. And again, the newer Cessna is also coming as well, so definitely interested in that. But I think I need another Caravan to represent Albuquerque and a couple other airports, but that'll definitely enhance my cargo loading up, so they're very excited about that. But overall, this was a very successful unboxing today. Definitely highly recommend all these Tarmac Design products. Tarmac Designs has a bunch of really cool air traffic control towers as well, so if you're in the air traffic control tower market, definitely recommend those. But they also have a bunch of great GSCs. I bought their VOR previously and several other items, so definitely recommended, like I said. But these glass jet bridges is really cool as I set them here in the back as we conclude the video. But Tarmac Designs, one of my favorite 3D printing companies in the model aircraft landscape, making really good products. They also have concourses as well. If you go to my AI 2024 videos, you will see the products there from the Kansas City display, which was really cool, and several other projects throughout. So I do recommend checking those out if you're interested. But overall, very good unboxing and haul here today. These are really great. And again, I would highly recommend these if you're in the market. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust process. Do love and love what you do. My name is CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.